And folk, you already know what it is, what it was, what it always will be. This is the Black Owned Pod. I'm your main man with the game, and Janice's oldest boy, Sincere, and I got.
Hey everybody, it's Peaches, Cleveland girl. Y'all ready for tonight? I am. Got some stuff to
Christmas
my
Eve. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve to y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I know y'all probably wondering who are these good folks that's beside us. Mine look better. And these are significant other of the hosts. Wife Kia, wife of 6 years, and Peaches, introduce.
This is Eric, my fiance, 2 years in January.
What's going on?
That's what I'm talking about. So family affair in here tonight, but we still gonna cover these topics. Tonight we're gonna be talking about when is it a good time to tell your kids that ain't no Santa Bih? When is it good time to tell your kids ain't no Santa Bih?
There is no good time. You know, I feel like today, us as Black women, because we're most guilty of it, have come to a place where we got to fight and prove ourselves so much that we've taken the imagination or our children's ability to, have something and wish for something higher than what we are away from them. Not all, but a significant amount of them.
Of course, I disagree. Of course, you know what I'm saying. I'm about letting your kids know what it is up front. Not necessarily. I can understand what you're saying. No, I'm not necessarily taking away their imagination, creative or whatever. You know what I'm saying. We find other ways to still be in the spirit during this time, but it revolves more around us just being together as family, giving. We usually try to. As a matter of fact, this year, my baby girl actually gave to a family. She adopted a family, used her own money. You know what I mean? Went out and got them some items that they, might need. Some, I think she got some underwear, some shoes, and things like that she gave to a family. So we try to tell them that it's more about that than what I'm saying, some fat white dude coming down chimneys that probably don't even exist in half of these households.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from. Of course, I myself disagree. Why we always tell a child to stay in a child's place, but then we want to mix it up and shake it up and show them where it's not. At the end of the day, this is a culture, and I feel like we're supposed to not only protect our children, but protect the kids from around them. Just because you want to be Santa of the Year, hoorah, hoorah, you've been doing that the whole year. It is nothing special, at that point. Doesn't mean that we take that fantasy from some other child. I remember when my child found out there was no Santa, she was brokenhearted. And I had to tell her no lie. Like, look, it wasn't a lie. I said, of course I understand, what I'm saying, where we are. Your kids, especially when they're younger, they're gonna go to school. The school's gonna break, they're gonna have contests where they decorate the doors and wrap the doors and all this kind of. I'm not gonna tell my baby, hey man, go to school and tell all the little kids in there that ain't no Christmas Bih. I'm not gonna tell them to say that. Enjoy it, what I'm saying, along with your friends or whatnot, blah blah blah. But just understand that. That's a part of being a kid. Then they be like, Santa Claus gonna bring me a PS5. Nuh-uh, because my daddy said ain't no Santa Claus. Damn. I go home crying, heart broke.
You got some questions.
I got some questions. Like, so I could have sworn I was hearing reindeers last Christmas.
Oh man, ain't no Santa for them because they was bad. Santa not going to see mad. That's what it is.
When you live in the naughty house, 9 times out of 10, the mom and dad have to buy the Christmas. Or sometimes it just be the fact that the mom just be nuts, cuckoo puffs. Anyway,
you hard on the women.
No, I mean, I'm a woman. We need to hear the truth. You know, 'tis the season to be giving. You just was talking about you was keeping it real about Santa Claus. I can't keep it real now.
Okay, well, you know what? Let's take that and move it in further in a different direction. I know what about having your kids grow up too fast.
Yes.
You know what I mean? What does that look like? And are we guilty of it?
Unknowingly? And the Easter Bunny away, so that was part of the kid thing, to believe in that. I don't care. I was the type of kid, I caught my mom putting some money up under my pillow, but once I seen what was up under there, I kept thinking until I got too big I had no more teeth to come out. The tooth fairy was coming,
Yeah.
So not only that, like I feel like we try to live through our children. Say, for instance, you weren't popular when you were younger. You felt like you belonged in this. You couldn't give you couldn't have the stuff that you wanted when you were their age. So of course you're going to try to push your wants and needs onto your child. Or you play football. Let you tell that you was an unpolished diamond. You probably was trash, So here you have this little boy, and you got your foot on his neck trying to make him do everything that you didn't do. You ultimately fell in him.
First of all, I was popular for being unpopular. I was popular for that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, I think sometimes you're right though. I do think sometimes we are trying to live through our kids when you have them. You want them. You was trash. You know what I'm saying? As a football player, and so you're trying to live through your son because he hit 2 jumpers in a row. Now you think he Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? And you out here doing extra stuff. However, I don't think that includes you just taking that extra time with your kids. If you get them up early to go to the gym and all that, I think that also instills some type of discipline. You know what I mean, with a child too. But I just think it really get you know what I mean, when you're trying to get the child to do something and that's not necessarily their call anyway.
Well, actually, I personally feel like sometimes we make our children grow up too quick without even noticing it. Say for instance, you have a party, mom, she want a party, you got an 8-9-year-old, you got the 8-9-year-old at home with the 2-year-old doing mommy things. Them, so you're already doing everything that you were supposed to do when stepping up when your mama won't watch your kids. And then you push it even farther. They already think they grown. They watching the kids. They cooking dinner. Next, here you go. You got a 6th, 7th, 8th grader with weave in her hair, makeup on, nails out to here. Just things that you don't do until you mature. And then when a man look at them, because we don't know what the heck is in the chicken these days, but you could be 12, you could be 25, but you be that,
Wait a minute. We say that, but let's think about it. She didn't have money to put that weave in by herself.
Facts.
And she ain't had no money or no transportation to put them nails on herself. So I guess as at how we invest our money in our kids, right? Because I know when I go out, I do see girls with weave and all this stuff down their back, but I know she's on a job,
right?
So
that's what
we do that. So maybe we should look at how we invest our money in our children.
Yeah, and start trying to be their friend. A lot of times we see these moms and these daughters, they kind of grow up together. Instead of this being a mother and daughter relationship, it becomes a friend. Y'all twerking together, you joking with her friends.
Y'all girlfriend.
Next thing you know, she's trying to fight you and she's disrespecting you, and you can't wrap your mind around what caused it.
Right. Well, you know what I tell people often, that we have to consider that we probably haven't, is that we are the first generations of parents that grew up on hip hop, right? So we're going to be different than our parents, period, right? Because we grew up a different type of, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta it's cool to understand.
Call it what it is. We grew up.
Basically, you say what?
Call it what it is. Not the hip hop era. We grew up on the crack era. New Jack City era. Menace to Society.
Yeah,
era.
I mean,
UGK. Eight Ball.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Our kids was listening to, you know what I'm saying, Marvin Gaye and Aretha Franklin. You know what I'm saying? We was listening to Public NWA and that stuff.
Froze.
Yeah, he froze.
Did our stuff go up? Are you here?
He froze.
I was trying to be in a relationship, you know, with the kids instead of being the.
I'm sorry.
You went in and out for a minute. We didn't even get the full question.
Actually, Lamar says, "Say it, Peaches. I'm 33 and my dad still won't smoke a spliff with me."
You understand when you get that chop in your throat, you done went too far. You know, ain't no puff pass over here. It's pop pow.
Okay, seriously.
But I think we forgot some of the things that our parents had us growing up with. Because I remember when my mom and her friends were in the kitchen, and we came in the kitchen, what they say? Get out of grown folks' business. Get out my mouth. Get out my face. Stuff like that. But I dare to hear that with any mother nowadays. That I mean, I go over their house or whatever, their kids is playing all up in your face. But if you ain't gonna say it, I'm not gonna say it.
I cannot. You can't come over my house and ride to the store with me. My daughter can't stay with you out of my eyesight. I cannot stand a grown child.
No.
You know, and I can't stand a parent that act like they don't know that their child is you know, out of pocket. You know, and there's no correcting it. Like, oh, she's spoiled, or she the only child, or she don't have no other brothers and sisters around, so this is why she carries herself like that. I think.
Yeah. So yeah, and sometimes that could also, you know what I'm saying, be dangerous. I remember when I was younger, I actually had a friend, who his mother, and I think we was about 15. I think he was about 14, 15 years old, and his mom would smoke weed with him. Yeah. Guy right now is in prison for life, for like a double homicide he did in like 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
cool.
Yeah, it could go wrong.
Yeah, you gotta have that, you know, that discipline, that fear factor, you know, because once, you know, we get to being friends, it's gonna go left automatically anyway. You know, it's not a friendship.
Yep. Ron G said the internet raising these kids. That's a good point too.
Hey, so yeah, I'm not even gonna say it because I was spooked. Like, the internet is really raising these kids. Make sure you all know how to finagle your TVs and your internet connections to put them parental guide lines on there. Because what is that? Anime is not all anime.
Okay, seriously. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, if you think about it, our kids are in school and they learn about technology. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say 100%. We put those parent protection and blocks. Them jokers got a way around that block. They done got on YouTube, done listen to somebody else. So I think the parent blocks are us just finding out what the heck they did the night before at 2:00 in the morning when your tail was asleep.
Yep. One thing I will say though is that if you listen to your kids, they'll.
Hey, no, for real. My son has a YouTube page with followers and everything. His dad sent me a thing and said, make sure you like, share, and comment. And I'm looking, whatever. And so he was like, did you look at it? And when I went on it, it was my son. Like, we had no idea what these kids are doing.
Yeah,
like,
YouTube page, them playing
Like we trying to get on. We probably need to have him come and hide this little camera.
Okay. Seriously.
Nah, he told.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be doing this because it might take away from my fins. But yeah.
Yeah, Carol always been smart, but hey, but yeah, they different these days, and they, you know, and just the things that we got away with stuff because we had to do dirt outside the house, right? You dirt right inside the building,
right next to you
with that phone. You hear me? And that ain't, you know, and if you ain't privy on things, you know what I'm saying? They can easily play you.
Hey, you at school like about to fight the teacher. My daughter wouldn't do such and such. Well, is this her username? And this at 3:23 a.m. on Tuesday? Oh, I'm looking at her like you should have told me this in the car. You got me up here pressing myself in front of you.
Hey, now I'm about to knock you off.
Okay, wait till we get in the car.
But yeah, I think I think another thing that, you know, that's important about you know what I'm saying, when we're talking about trying to live vicariously through them, is that if you just kind of pay attention to the things that they like, the things that they give a lot of their own time and attention to, and nurture those things, it's kind of worked for us most of the time. You know, Isaiah was, when he was young, I could have swore he would have been doing something with cars because he loved cars.
Oh, I know it was in technology.
Yeah, that was
right for business and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But
So, but you know, facts. But it was, you know, his eye, the way he can, you know, see things, those things. And not, I think it's for them to kind of, you know, be able to talk to you about it for one, and two, when they see that it makes them go even on whatever that thing is, and it don't have to be, you know, basketball or football. Like I said, for him it was cars. I recently just found out how good my youngest son is at art. Like, I mean, he gets down, and I didn't even. So when I said, hey, man, you know, we need to figure out, you know what I'm saying, we can take this thing, you know, to the next level. What you need me to do, you know what I'm saying, to help you, you know, get better at this.
Wait a minute, Peaches. Now, when it happened because he came to me and he asked me if he could draw on his walls in his room.
Oh.
Right. And I said that yes, but outline it, I have to approve it before you paint it. And he did. He came in there like, what the? And then he stood there and looked. And I was like, yeah, that's what you're saying.
First of all, I wouldn't even have the mama, can I draw on her walls?
You gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have an extra amount of confidence.
Yeah, fact.
Well, we're talking about juicy.
Fact.
I'm gonna throw you around a little bit for playing with you. And your room. You gotta believe in yourself with that one.
Because I would have never did it, bro. But but yeah, he really good though. You know what I'm saying? Like he really good at it. So, you know, it's our house. You know what I'm saying? So I let him do his thing.
Well, the thought process was, if you like it, I'll paint.
We can just paint over it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Get you with that no look pass. You thought it was gonna be something else, and you end up liking it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So and it's cool. You know, I'm cool with it. Hey, look, creativity, man. I don't know where they get it from. It ain't from my side of the family. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, both our sons. Mm-hmm. Isaiah loves photography. So for parents out there, I know for my children, I attention to things that they're willing to spend hours and hours and hours doing without nobody telling anybody about it. And I noticed that my oldest son loved to be on a computer and draw and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, why don't you take an art class in school? So he took art and he got into photography. And then I noticed he was just around just snapping pictures of grass and trees and all kinds of stuff. So then I invested into a camera, and then I upped my level at cameras and just kept upping my level on cameras. he was taking pictures. I never asked him to take a picture.
Yep.
But as I took a picture, I would up the next level.
And now people, I think he already did a couple of gigs where he's went and done photography for. I know he did a baby shower and a wedding.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? So people do that.
Yeah, I gotta big y'all up on that one. That y'all was in a position to just let him do what he wanted to do instead of being pressured with a whole lot of other life problems. And expresses encourage him.
Yeah, indeed. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I think that's the thing that we got to do. We got to figure out what are they doing that's productive. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to destroy something. And they spending a lot of time on it without being told. Then we should just take that and then nurture it. You know what I'm saying? And you never know what can come of it.
Yeah. You're trying to protect your kids, especially if they got the body that you wanted. You can't do it. Your days is over.
Let them find their own identity.
Them find their own way. That's how. Yeah, I don't want my daughter to go to school in Florida. I wanted her to go to Ohio State. I didn't want her to stay at the school for advanced studies. Everything that she did because that was her. And when I tried, she's so monotone. You can never tell when she's upset unless she's passionate about something. So when I posed a question, if she gave me a big response, I know it meant something to her. So my thing is, sometimes you got to listen to your kids and ultimately keep it in mind that do what's best for them, and what you want might not be what would be the best for your child in the long run.
For sure,
them to be better than us. We raising them, we opening doors that weren't opening for us. And if you're a parent and you're stunting their growth, or you're getting in their way, or you're trying to reroute their lives, if it's in something positively, you're doing your child and your whole family a disservice.
You're doing a horrible job. You're doing a horrible job.
Okay.
Somebody gonna keep it all the way real.
All the way, yeah.
I wanted them to come on because we kind of got a similar story, except for you guys has been doing it longer than me. My question is to both of you. We got to keep it out. Hopefully we have a Merry Christmas after this, y'all. But what is our role in the upbringing of a child that isn't ours? What's too far?
What's too far? What?
For instance,
as a step parent.
What's too far?
Man, okay. I'm gonna speak from my side, from the man's side, right? So, for me, I think I have two kids that are her stepchildren, right? For me, it's about like I don't do the baby mama thing at all. I never have, right? So that to me that need to be understood off top. Like I pull my kids' mind to the side. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Like this woman is going to be here. You know what I'm saying, for some time. There's not some, in and out thing that I'm doing or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Don't ever, you know what I'm saying, get to a place to where you're being disrespectful to her, whether you're in front of us, because the kids are, they're going to say something, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't respect her, the kids won't respect her. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that, to me, it was important for me that I let her know, you know what I'm saying, like, respect this woman. It's not, you don't have a choice. It's not a, you know what I'm saying, that's not up for discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to do that, or, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have some problems, you know what I mean, that avoided. I'm very, like, upfront and making sure that part of it gets taken care of. I think if that gets taken care of, then everything else will fall in place.
Okay, so my thing is, I want to take you back because you know, you would deal with Duval's finest, right?
Right. Yeah.
So in the beginning, when it was new and it was fresh, and you know, she felt like she still had a say in something. How did you get over? How did you get past it? Did you? How did?
Girl, we had bumps.
We had
bumps.
what bumps? We had one bump.
We had bumps.
Yes.
Bump.
Okay, the phone call. Got it.
We had that bump.
Right.
Then we had the diaper bump.
Okay, yeah, okay. And you know what? Let's talk about the diaper bump, right?
The diaper bump.
So Lamar says step parents should be an extension of the biological. Agree 100%. I don't even like the term step parent. I don't use it.
I don't think you've ever
at all. I've never called her a step parent. I don't call the kids step kid. I don't do that at all. It's the biological parent's responsibility to make the children understand that the steps should be treated as such. A good point, you know what I'm saying, from Lamar. But let's go into this.
The bumps.
Let's go into this particular instance because I think it's important. You know what I'm saying? I think it was a
growing experience.
It is.
It was the first time
but
I ever dealt with it.
Okay, tell the story and then I can.
Which one? The phone call? I go
the diaper. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so when we first were together, and that she had never really met me at that point in time, and she had very small kids. What Keith was 3, 4?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah,
and then the baby. Right. So they were really small. And at the time they were in diapers. And she called about 6-something, 7-something, hollering about the kids had no diapers. Right. He jumps out of the bed, puts clothes on. I said, wait a minute, let me ask you a couple of questions. And he's like, what? I gotta get these diapers. I said, is she a good mom? He's like, yeah. And I said, she takes care of her kids. He said, yeah. I said, so what good mother waits until she doesn't have any diapers to call for diapers?
For diapers, yeah.
I mean, and the reason why I think that was a good point is, for one, I didn't think about it, and I'm just super dad. So, you know what I'm saying? My kids need, I'm going to go make it happen. Bam. Right. So that never even really crossed my mind. You know what I'm saying? So that could have ended different. I could have been like, don't me how the mother, you know what I'm saying? I went into all of that, you know what I mean, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I heard and you know, and
I didn't I just asked the question, is she mom?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. I said, you know, I asked those questions because I felt as though if she was that, I know as a mother, because I had small kids, I would never wait until I got one pamper to say, oh, we go to the store.
Diapers, or my baby ain't got no milk yet.
But as a son before him, to me, that's a power move. Can I get you out of your bed and out your house when I want you to, and away from her when I want you to? So if I can do it this time, I'm gonna do it again and again and again. So I had to out where he was in the apparel struggle. Was he willing just to run? Then that let me know where the relationship would be in the future, and is that I want to deal in?
Right.
Yeah. And I thought I thought I was being played. I was being finessed. I don't like that. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So now I got to, you know, we got to correct this problem. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, again, when you know, and I did, you know, mention something to her about it, but it wasn't, again, in a way. I'm always try to come at anybody cool first. You know what I'm saying? But hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Next time, how about you let me know, you know what I'm saying, when you got a whole row left, Vice, you know what I'm saying? He on the last one, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. And then, and you know, and that was cool. We never had that problem, you know. Again.
Eat until the morning.
As a man, you wanna do what's right and let them know that you're there in case of emergency. But you know, when you got a woman behind you, she gonna let you know when the illusion comes into play, and you know where to put your foot down and draw the line in the sand of what we're accepting and what we're not accepting. You know.
Yeah, facts. And the truth is that men, we never gonna be as petty as women. So women gonna know. women are going to know when they're going to spot petty. They're going to be able to spot petty easy. Oh, that's petty right there. She's playing them. I couldn't see it, you know. I couldn't see it, and so she held me down right there.
Yeah, you know, women have another type of vision than us men. You know, the way they look at things and see things is, you know, they're different from a male perspective. So, you know, if a woman pull you to the side and let you give you some good information, some good game, you definitely need to be willing and, you know, acceptable to it.
Indeed.
I got a question. So, what do you do when you told him something, like y'all had a couple of bumps, and he didn't believe you, and then the same thing you told him was about to happen? You used to.
I think when it came to dealing in that situation, for me personally, I never wanted to ever accuse her of anything, because that was not my place to accuse her of anything, because I really didn't know her. So all I always came from was a question. He had all the answers, right? But I made sure that I posed the question that I felt would make him think about it. You know, like, come on, let's think about this. But in that, I had to make the decision. And luckily, I always made the right decision.
So talking about.
What's up?
Because I feel as though when we accuse them of, if I would have said, oh, she being petty, she trying to get you out of the bed, she trying to do this, trying to do that, he'd be like, girl, come on, why you always doing like that? So I never, or women out there, I feel as though when you do that, you put him on the defensive.
Facts, because I would have definitely been on the defensive.
Then he got to act rather than
right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like if I see something before it plays out, you know, like I don't, you know, we're a little seasoned or whatever. I'm 41, you know, not to mention like I done been mentoring and been in the supervisory position since I was 22. So a lot of things I done seen. I done seen the people get rocked to sleep. I done seen men taking care of babies that wasn't theirs. I done seen women fake pregnancies and go through a whole 9 months, and then, oh, I had a miscarriage. It was stillborn, never seen a child, you know, faked into marriages. Just like, you know, little boys off from jail for having underage girls in the, you know, we done been through a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of the stuff we did. I think that we get into a issue when we expect women to behave as we do. Like you have a child outside Mark, and I have 3, you know, so I don't give they dad them those issues. I don't argue with you on the phone. I'm not about to go back and forth. You know, I don't care who he messing with, you know, so, and I'm gonna do what's best for my kids. Like, I don't care if you know you couldn't have kicked me no money in such and such a time. When it was time for you to get them kids, guess what? If you want to keep them longer, just let me know. Like hit me with a text message.
Okay, but just like you said though, is just like you said when you said is just you want to take care of your kids. What a man want to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that where there's an issue is sometimes the man gets blamed for his actions. You know what I'm saying? And he can't necessarily be blamed. Now, I will be the first to say that it is the man's place to check baby mama. But you as the one who's there as his support, you shouldn't be coming at him crazy because of the way that his baby mama is acting. You know what I'm saying? If there's something else or something outside going on or something more than what she be going, it'll come to light. Trust and believe that. You know what I'm saying?
I've never had an issue. Like if I had to, everything we went through, if I had an idea of him, if y'all see me on the news, it'd never be because of her. You know, I told you need to cross the line, you know.
Yeah. I'm talking about you in general. I mean, personally, but you know, in general, you see women give him all types of hell because of the way the baby mom acted. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the look. You know what I'm saying? Because you become an extra problem.
Because clearly you see what we dealing with. If you're dealing with something, you can't expect to have normal behavior. We got proof. We got receipt. How y'all call it? Receipt. We got proof. We got living proof of the type of person that we dealing with. So we make you live and learn. You outgrow things. You go away. Things happen. But it should never be an issue where I'm getting down or you know what I mean. Cause yeah.
Who down you?
I'm just saying as far as. I don't forgot my train of thought right just that fast, but
that bad.
It's gonna come back to me in a minute though.
Yeah, but no, it's just
trying to nobody baby mama.
That's a fact.
Baby mama.
Oh, yeah,
right.
We not getting judged off the foolishness of our significant other's, child. Yeah,
right.
When you're dealing with somebody crazy and they show you what it is, you definitely got to stop. You can't judge them after that because they've shown you that they're willing to go above and beyond. Because, like you said, as a man, we never gonna be petty. We're not expecting for them to go that low. But there's so many levels to the hate and the issues, that don't get attention.
Yeah. And I mean,
I say y'all will never be petty. Hey, with me, you ain't got to. I get it. You know how they be like, take the high road. Now you gonna get whatever fuck you know. No, I just was trying to do it because it's hard. Like for instance, like this one is a nutcase, so we could do more than what we do, and I have children that goes and live with another woman and their dad, They remarried, got brothers, sisters. So, I believe in, karma to an extent. So, if you bring a child around, that's your job, you love her, I'm going to do it like that. If we're together, when I go to the store, we don't pick up a pair of shoes for my two and you got one around, we get stuff for everybody, but it's like Christmas, all stuff, we split it down, we done rent about like $1,200 on the baby, we split the stuff down the middle because that's what you do, like when you're together, but it make it harder when you got somebody that don't,
want to get down with the plan because it could be so much easier and more love would be shown because at the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to be about, the child. But people manipulate and take situations and make them about themselves. So
yeah, and you know what I'm saying, and people emotions involved. We don't really know. And that's the thing, you don't know the person feels or felt. You know what I'm saying? It could be years down the road, you know what I mean? And they feel like, first of all, when you lost a good one. That's first and foremost. When you lost a good one. And so when anybody, this goes for baby mama or baby daddy, when they know they lost a good one, they always harbor that emotion. I mean, for the other person, and the way it manifests, it just depends on the person. And am I in standby mode or am I always trying to cause problems? Because and the funny thing is sometimes a woman to cause problems just want to leave you, just so she can show you that no matter what you do, I'm always ruin. What good you think you have.
Oh, no.
Yeah, for some reason, when you start doing better than you was with them, they gonna always hate on you because they see you growing and progressing, and that's just a crazy situation. Because okay, the better I do, the better I make our child situation.
Right.
But they not looking at it from a parent. I guess anytime they doing some hateful, vindictive stuff, they're not looking at it from a parent view. They're viewing it for themselves as a person and not a parent.
Indeed. And what the sad thing is, I've known Peaches for some time, bro. And Peaches is one that will do that. You'll be one way, when you with her or whatever, and then you get with, if Peaches bring you up, you know what I'm saying? And then, she got to be on the outside looking at that like, damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he got it together, you know what I'm saying? Because you got that inner behind, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that it is what drives them absolutely crazy because they're trying to figure out like, what is it about her? You know what I'm saying? They got this boy performing at this level and he wasn't doing that when he was.
Just,
mean, it's
you
an
have
ugly
to
thing.
charge that to the game. Charge that to the game. That ain't nothing personal. It's just everybody, everybody meant for somebody. And, if we tried it and it didn't work, you definitely don't have animosity for somebody for doing, like, picture a man that can't even imagine to do nothing like that. Like, if you left a woman alone, I hope you do bad. Like, that ain't even no real, ain't no real man going, you know what I mean? I'm gonna just try to, I'm gonna try to do better. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do better when I see you. I ain't gonna hate on you. Oh, I hope, but that, is deep, as a culture, and
it's a heavy thing. I got sons, of course, and I tell my sons, that the woman you be with should make you better. And the reason why I say that is because I know that being with, with Kia has made me better. Because first of all, I don't really want too much for myself. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it was just me, if I was single right now, I'd be good in the 2-bedroom, 1,000 square foot crib. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I would be perfectly fine. But when sometimes it depends, if a man rises to the occasion, or if he just, like, brings her down, you know what I mean? So it just depends, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a good one, man. Hard coming out with it. Has there ever been a time where the adults use as leverage? This is ugly right here. If it get to this point, then it's getting ugly.
Oh yeah, we didn't have fake emergencies. Just little stuff like she sent her in the same gray outfit, like some gray jogger pants and an eco shirt every week, boots, Timberland boots with a fur. It didn't get to the point to, like, even if we try to do, extend the olive branch and put her on the good stuff and send her home with it, when she send it back, it'll be washed and, like, the shoes never wore, and she come running around here in some Tinkerbell shoes, little stuff like, and it's like, we got so much stuff that just go to waste and get too little because, you so envious that you won't let your child, you won't put your child in front of your feelings. And it's like, me as a parent, like, it's been plenty times I done cry myself to sleep or whatever. But guess what? At the end of the day, my kids, we got to look at the bigger picture, what the end mission. And I guess that's that military, mind in us. Like, what's the end goal here? Like, what we trying to do? Like, suck them tears up, get your butt up, get them kids ready for school, cook them some breakfast, kiss them, and put them on the bus, and you're going to do what you got to do, And it's like, that's how I was raised. That's like my grandmother. She was focused on it. She went to work. She did what she did. And it's like, I try to pattern myself off of that. And it's like, it'd be so disheartening to see, like, people actually doing this stuff. When you little, you be like, oh, when I get grown and I have kids, I ain't gonna do this and this and this. Or when I get grown, I ain't gonna do that. Like, she won't let me go outside. I'm always little stuff like that. And to think of your child sitting in the room like, oh, I hurt her, like, I can't.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, when I get big, I'm not gonna do such and such. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and anybody who put their emotions before they is a suspect off top. Go ahead.
But I would say in that situation, kind of looking at it that way, we can't change the other person.
Exactly.
We can't make them believe how we believe. We can't make them do what we want them to do. So in that position, I mean, if you feel as a mother, you want your child to come to my house in that place, I don't have no problem.
Yeah.
My doors, we got what we got. But best believe when she leaves, she gonna leave the way she came. Because you as a mother, right? Yeah. Because at that point in time, then you as a mother will feel frustrated because you're gonna be hitting this wall, because she's gonna put that wall up every time. She's gonna do something to be petty, she's gonna do something to this. And I've always been the things like, you know what? If that's want her to look, if you want her in my house in too short of shorts, or their clothes don't fit, or their clothes is dirty, no problem. I'll go ahead and oblige you. I'll take her. Right? But once you get behind my doors, we live a different life. This is the life that we live. But because as a mother on the other side, you don't want to appreciate yourself or understand how we live. I'll allow her to go back. You want her to live. So if you want to sit up there and talk to your friends, oh, I seen her over there with that stuff and she didn't even change her clothes. If you believe that about me, go ahead, believe that about me. But if you see me in the street with your daughter and your daughter look all cute and she got the little frill and we matching, we could both got jogging suits on with our hair did.
Okay.
Worse. Because guess what? I'm still gonna send her back in that gray outfit with the little tinker shoes on. She can be, oh, I see you. Oh, yeah, you did. And what?
But you could have said it like the other week. She let her out the car like that. He had on some phones or something. She go stand outside her car like, you dress better than your daughter. Hey, when he got back home, he hit it with the text. I don't dress better than my daughter. She's good when she over here. She get out the car as a reflection of you.
Hey, that's bullseye. Spot on right there.
Like it's a competitive thing, you know. It's like ain't nobody's trying to outdo another. Like we talking about a kid, but you know you can tell who the petty one is when you sit them over there like that. Like, I wouldn't be able to look you in the face knowing I sit my daughter over there. I sit her home with some dirty clothes, like because that says a lot about who you are as a person.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? What you represent.
But I'm gonna tell you what though, the chief thing that everyone in the situation remember is these kids ain't always gonna be kids.
No,
they're gonna remember, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna remember how they were treated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I remember my dad told me, is he froze?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now? Oh. No, did it knock us off?
I can be up again. How am I doing?
Pretty good. You were a little emotional. You passionate about it.
Oh, you said I got emotional? There they go.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
On the play. It's a storm here, y'all. So if we're going in and out, that's why. But I guess
I don't even think that was yours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's raining up there?
No.
Oh.
And I don't know what the deal is.
Man, though, but it's like sometimes I be forgetting. You know me. You know, I ain't beat her up nothing. I want off the strength of the daughter, but I don't know. It's just been a stretch for me. You know, this different. You know, so I just know that he, especially when it actually like bring us closer because it's like, you know, we done united behind it as well. Like this is just something else. And then for him to watch me with my children and how they strive and how, you know, it's different for him. And, you know, like you say, he's suggesting or whatever. So I guess he like what he like it here. He like it.
Hey, Hey, the thing is, and this something, you know what I'm saying, this kind of letting you know, the inside of when you've been doing it for years, and that is the difference in lives that they might live, you know what I'm saying, from from the ones that are in the home, and for the ones that are outside the home, that lives are going to be different, you know what I mean, and the way that they experience things are going to be different. If there's anything, that's the one thing that kind of like hurts more than anything else, because you know what I'm saying, especially as a father, Eric,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, you want your kid, you always want to be with your kids, and you always want to give your kids the best, you know what I'm saying, and when you know that they in a situation to where they might not be receiving as far as to the level that you can provide, you know what I'm saying,
You gotta intervene.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, you gotta,
Yeah.
you kind of gotta deal with that. So, but I mean, it is what it is. That's why it's so important for the other person to get on the same page, you know what I'm saying, as much.
This one, she done went and found other people that ain't friends with me. She went and found Damon and paid $1,000 for him to go to North Carolina and have sex with her. She sent us pictures, but it was like everything that she did, it just made us more fall back and relax and realize, like, it's bigger than Nino Brown. This is even just give her space, don't go back and forth with her, you extend an olive branch. If she doesn't take it, she don't, but she want to walk around and act like me and her have beef. Like, you know what I do with beef. Like,
like barbecue.
Okay. Little stuff, or they got their little clique or whatever, but it's like no beef. Like, I don't want to beef with this girl. I love her daughter. So she's a sweet girl. So,
and let me tell you what's crazy. If I ain't care, we wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's what the crazy part be.
Well,
yeah.
Ready for that, because that sounds like it's going to be apparent. It's going to be apparent that there's going to be two levels of lifestyle.
But here's the thing: it is going to be apparent. But this is the thing: kids smarter than the mother.
Yeah.
Right. And so eventually they're going to know where the love is, and where you being and not that, you know what I'm saying, mom doesn't love, but there's a difference when I'm sitting in the back seat getting dropped off and I see mom hop out the vehicle and walk over to dad with the BS off top. Eventually I'm going to see, and I'm going to be able to know, oh, okay, see this.
Well,
this
I'm
ain't
just thinking about not just the BS. I'm just thinking about the growth part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the difference between Marquise and Amarian
Mm-hmm.
and Zay, Juicy, and Kamari. It's just the level of what I expect versus the level of what they mom expected. But now, when they was younger, it was cool and stuff. Remember, we was fighting and going back and forth and everything about education or curricular activities or hobbies or what school they went to. All of that. Now, it come apparent, right? Because it's where our kids are and where they are, and it's because we can't change that.
Right. Which is why I said eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I was trying to say, Eric, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, here. So, like, you know what I'm saying? When my babies was dumb young, you know what I mean? There was one way that things, you know what I'm saying, were happening, and our expectations is this, and then the expectations over there is different.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Grades.
Just grades. Okay, so so we expect 85s and better for school, point period, right?
Yeah.
80, anything under 80, 84.9 is no love. You know what I mean? It's no love, and you have to earn everything. But when you earn it. Like, I'm not turning nothing down. Daddy, I want this, all blah blah blah. This, I want this, I want that. straight here, then I'm only obliged to do my part, right? So there was a point where I got my boys and they were living with us. You know what I'm saying? So I had custody. And then they just wasn't meeting, they were not meeting the mark, right? So what I was asked was to lessen the expectation for them. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. And so it got like, there was some times there where it was a little nippy because they like, oh, well, she getting everything or he getting everything. Hey, they met the mark, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta meet the mark. If you're not meeting the mark, then
Right.
you know what I'm saying? We're not rewarding mediocrity. So you gotta
Problem.
right. You know what I'm saying? And that could cause its own problems. Luckily it didn't.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Because the kids still love it. They close. You know what I mean? When they together.
I think we kind of push them to be
close. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Room the boys like there was no, each person had their own room. The boys all, Keith and Zay and Juice
Right.
and Amarian. I mean, they had to.
Yeah. So
you was the common enemy.
Right.
They had to get you.
So we kind of like bonded off the fact that we gotta get around daddy. We gotta figure out how to outsmart this dude. You know what I'm saying? That make them closer. You know what I'm saying? Blah blah. But I mean, years down the line, man, it's it shows itself. And I always used to tell them, every decision you make gets you one of two R's, and that's rewards or repercussions. And that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's still valid today, just like it was 10, 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And but like what you want to kind of make that gap not be as wide as it possibly can, you know what I'm saying? But there may be a gap, but you just want to try to lessen the space in that gap as much as possible.
Yeah, just making sure you taking care of your part, your end.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You do.
Yeah.
In a computer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah. But you're right though. I mean, that's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? And it's all you're gonna be able to do. But just you know what I mean, like keep it a buck with them at all times. Or there's gonna be some times where they're gonna, when they get older, they're gonna ask some hard questions. You just gotta give them the real. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta give them the real.
My daddy told me we were walking from 90th up 90th and Huff to his friend Maxine, how she passed away now. But he told me, he was like, baby, I just want you to know that I love you or whatever. And things just don't go over too well with me and your mom. He was like, you don't understand it now, but you will understand it when you get older or whatever. He was like, I might not be around as much, but that's because it's not that I don't want to. It's just, the trouble that I could get into just by dealing with her.
Right.
Now, whatever. And I watched it, and I heard him. I never forgot it. I was like 4, because y'all know my daddy was a big boy, but this time he had the Roxanne, the big boom box or whatever. And he kind of. So, I had to be like 4, 5, maybe. I was standing 90, 01, however old I was on that. I was little. And I remember him telling me that. And as everything growed, and I would watch when she would get mad and she'd be like, go somewhere. You look just like your shawed off ass daddy, or something. So and he told me, and, just watching her reaction about him, it stuck with me, and it came out true, because once I got older, I moved with my grandmother, and I was spoiled. Like, I was with him, always with his girlfriend, I had the new Jordans, it was a different lifestyle for me once I left my mom. So, I mean, it's just some things that I understand, and I just hope that, she have the knowledge, or, my kids have the knowledge to depict whatever. But if they talk shit about me down there, no, just leave. I guess I just be wanting to be I just be wanting the women to be how I am with my kids' father or how I am with my kids, and that's a bit unrealistic, and I don't know. Sometimes it be making me like, let me call and play on these niggas' phones and shit. But who the fuck I said I'm gonna call his phone like Byron? Like rock text with all smiley faces and emojis and his name, like fuck with him, like your mama, and to give him a taste of what he could be going through, So
Yeah.
So together when I call you, I don't want, I ain't calling Kiki and Ryan. Let's get to the point. I mean, what that's fuck. I'm just playing. Not really. But yeah, it's just different.
Yeah.
I think when the other person is content in their own life, everything else comes easy. Once they're content,
it'll smooth out.
She got a long way.
Because I know. Well, for some people, some people just is touched. But for the rest of us, sometimes it has to deal with feelings and contentment.
Gotta let that go.
Yeah, I think it'll eventually, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I hope that real discussion kind of helps some people, you know what I'm saying, who might see this, to just, understand that everything is a moment. As hard as it is to believe, it's just a moment, and you just got to get through this one. We got a million of them in life, and this is just one of them. You know what I'm saying? And eventually there will be, you know what I'm saying, some peace to be had. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
When we be at the gas station, you be like this. When we be at court, we be like this.
She tough.
She eat her Wendy's every time we go to court. Let them, so they make me stay in the back, because she done told them I'm gonna do something for her while she walking. Give her the 5-minute walk head start to go to her car. But
Get out of here.
She like, girl, I will beat you for a dog. Like stuff. But it's like at this point I'm 51.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even do anything to let everybody out? Because I be waiting on the picture to come around the sign you being brought, because I know she ain't over there playing with me, like, yes, she is playing. Growing that C mark from back in the day.
Yes.
Somebody not operating on all cylinders, is a lot of things that they can be taken with a grain of salt and the next day, because it'd be funny,
Yeah.
Beginning, I used to be
adamant.
Yeah, but
Hey, funny thing is, we gonna move on to the last thing out of the thing. But the funny thing is, me and we was just talking about when you went up to the school. I said,
that was about my baby.
Bruh, I still remember getting the text. Was it a text or did you call me? I think. I think it was a text. I had to go up. No, I think you did call me. It was like, guess what? I just got finished beating this chick. I was like, oh my God, girl.
Yeah, I changed.
That mother right there. That's good. That's good. You know what I'm talking about? A little patience. You hear me? All right, last thing before we get out of here is the everybody seen this viral video of the guy up in Virginia Beach getting falsely arrested in the mall, at a local mall, in front of his children, and the way that the cops handled that. What do you, first of all, what do you think about the way that it happened, as far as how they just walked up on him from the beginning?
First of all, they didn't even give him a chance. They immediately put his hands behind him, put handcuffs on him.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was out of pocket, which herein lies where I said that we need to look at these people who wear oath and from these academies because the numbers is low and y'all need some more police. For him to go and do that, he was scared of that boy already. It was a black male.
Off top.
He was scared, you know. And when you put scared people in situations like that, that's how people get killed. You know, so these cops, there should be, anytime they go through any trauma or whatever, which they need to have somebody like Google and Facebook and all of them, they have psychiatrists that work for them. You know, like they need to go get screened and not that little thing like if you took a COVID test, if you say no, you good. Like it has to be a level of criteria that they have to meet for them to be fit to go back on the street, because if not, they will kill somebody. Well, it's happening.
Yeah, I thought it was first of all, they knew they were apprehending somebody that used a false credit card. That's not a dangerous person.
Right.
It doesn't give you cause to just run up on somebody and just automatically throw the cuffs on them. It ain't like he committed a double murder and you just happen to find him in the mall. It was for credit card fraud or something to that effect. You know, they never gave the man the chance to explain himself. They never gave him the chance to kind of, first of all, remain dignified in front of his family. They just went directly to putting handcuffs on him. They wouldn't tell him what he was being arrested for. It's just those types of things. Now, what I will say is I did watch the entire video, and the cop did try to remain as professional as he could the whole time. Because if we listen, I know you're going to spaz out, but listen, because if we're going to say that they just out here killing us for no reason, at least he did let the dude vent as much as he wanted to before he, you know what I'm saying? What happened?
He let him vent because he knew he was wrong. He knew he was upset, and he knew he was in trouble. And when you watch it all the way to the end, you can see where they had another black young male at the end of the walkway being tortured and detained by police too.
Right.
This is for that black I'm losing my word. Where they being racially profiled. This was a severe case of racially profiled. And people always state they want to go on vacation to Virginia Beach. This and this and this. The theory is come to Virginia Beach on vacation.
We'll go down there.
Leave on probation.
We'll go down there.
That's who they. We don't go to Virginia Beach.
You go to a restaurant, get in, get out, and get out of there because no.
But he come to Chesapeake.
It's a blessing I'm out here. Oh no, I ain't coming out there.
What also makes it bad is, in addition to, I think maybe the next day there was also another video that went viral of an incident up in Ohio where a black man was arrested. He was already in cuffs, and he was, of course, upset, and he was, talking loud and cussing at the cops or whatnot, and he was assaulted by a white officer. Now, he was put in handcuffs by a black officer. The black officer was already taking him to the vehicle to put him in the back seat, and then the white officer didn't like what he was saying as he was being arrested and punched him in the face. To the officer's presence, to their good, they did cuff him immediately. The cop, they cuffed the and also put him in the back of a vehicle, had him taken that and actually booked for assault. Now, I don't know how real that is or how, I'm saying, that's actually going to work, for either cop, in the future, with the one that had him arrested as well as the one who was arrested. But it was good to see that somebody will take, some type of necessary action against these police officers that's just assaulting people with no rhyme or reason.
And that goes along the fact of what I was saying when we were discussing the police brutality and everything matter. You gotta start from the inside. You need more in order to enact change, you have to make change or be the change. And until we can go in there and change from the inside out, we're gonna continue to foster a relationship where killing of unarmed black men or innocent men is gonna be just gonna be another head in the newspapers and gaining national attention because what is expected.
Indeed, indeed, and you know, it goes to the comment that was posted up earlier. It's just about holding these police officers accountable. You know, I know a lot of a lot of the rhetoric is, you know, we want to see cops beat up and body slammed, and it might be true in some cases. However, in large part, we just want them to be held accountable. You know what I mean? Police officers are actually called peace officers. That's all we want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Keep the peace. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, you know, you having your feelings hurt because somebody is cussing you out while you're arresting them, and you feel bad because he told you to kiss his ass or, you know, F ever, you know, and you and your emotions, and it's causing you to act a certain way when you deal, and especially when it's only happening when you're dealing with the certain demographic of people. So it's just about holding the police officers accountable. I know we hear a lot of talk about defund the police. I'm not necessarily a person that believes that we should defund the police, because I still need to call somebody if somebody's trying to break in my crib, because or else they're gonna come scoop this boy up. One of the two. But I'm just saying that, yeah.
Wait a minute. I think that we're talking about the end result of what's going on. We need to start at the beginning, and the beginning is really how they view our community.
Indeed,
right? Because it's not that cops aren't getting cussed out. You see them getting cussed out by all kinds of people. It's when they get cussed out by a certain community, times brings out certain reactions in them.
We good though. We know how to cuss. We cuss good.
Maybe we do. But that's where we need to begin, because if I don't view you a certain way, you could have said, you know, whatever, and I'm gonna feel offended and mad and pissed, and how dare you talk to me that way? Do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? Versus the same person can do the same thing. How many times have we seen the video where a person in our community has a gun walking down the street and everybody is as scared as I don't know what, like, oh my God, but you don't hear about us robbing banks? When's the last time you heard of, you know, somebody stopping and shooting up something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like these things, but you see another community doing the same thing and everybody's like, oh, cool. Like, I'm protected. Yes, please. My First Amendment, my Second Amendment, all my amendments, right? So it's really in the beginning on how they view community.
What y'all think?
How we change that? So you're damned if you do. You if you believe in, if you fight. If it's peaceful, you know, they're gonna thwart that with something, sending people in to make it, you know, a uproar. If you get violent, now you're crazy, and this is why we don't respect you as a race now. So there's no middle ground besides you know, us standing together. You know, you know, everybody that be like, hey buddy, hey brother, you know, one fishing on such and such, you know, look at this new engine, this new Hemi, like them ones that y'all be like, oh really? And you want to lift up your thing and look and eat their little stab of this barbecue. You know, it's a difference. You know, you got to make. We try to hold each other accountable or whatever, but it needs to be respected throughout. Like if you dealing with Buddy, he needs to be stand with you. You know, I feel like I just brought out the people who was around us, who we working with, who we eating coffee with, who we in briefings with. You know, we unmasked a lot of people who was hiding in the shadows. And so now you get the grand scheme of what you're dealing with. Now, the question that remains unanswered is how you deal with it.
Well, when you say unmask, I feel a lot of those people were always suspect. They always were suspect. You know what I'm saying? They acted a certain way, or they say something. You'd be like, wait a minute.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna put you on the line.
But I'm suspect of punch somebody in their mouth. You know, I talk with my hands, I talk with my head, I roll my neck. You know, so when they're looking at me, I look like a black woman. Not, and the whole time I'm way smarter than you. You know, but you know,
hey, but it goes just like
what
what Eric said is that what they see you as is a threat. They see you as being aggressive. You know what I mean? Because you're right. That is what we do. We talk with with our hands, and women gonna roll their neck and do all of this. You know what I'm saying? Stuff. But Ron G said earlier that they scared that we have guns, and what their biggest fear is that we would do to them what they've been doing to us all of these years. It's guilt. You know what I'm saying? But when intrinsically we just not programmed like that. We're not programmed the same. We actually are more cool and laid back by nature. You know what I'm saying? But however, we are also more emotionally charged than the usual, you know what I'm saying, as well. As soon as something happened, we go from say real quick, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? I could be sitting in my house, and you know what I'm saying, I see Kevin Durant hit a 3 from the top of the key, and I will jump up out my seat and make all types of damn noise. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's how we are. You know what I mean? As a people, we are emotionally charged people. And at the same time, if I heard that somebody bumped my daughter out in the streets, I need to go see about that immediately. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just as emotionally charged then as I am watching Kevin Durant shoot a 3 from the top of the key. So it's just the circumstances or the situation is going to kind of charge or push whatever my emotional response will be according to, you know what I'm saying, however somebody is treating me. And if I believe I'm being mistreated, I'm gonna act a certain way.
Yeah. Well, I think in that you also have to remember that the police officers that we're dealing with our age or a little bit younger, right? So they have grown up watching on TV and technology. So like I said, their view of us, we have been viewed a certain way around the world.
Facts. Right?
We've been viewed a certain way. So they have grown up with an inherent bias, right? Mm-hmm. Because everything wrong, what? Dark, black, right? You know what I'm saying? The boogeyman, everything happens in dark is bad. Nothing that happens bad during the daytime, but you rob a bank during the day. I don't know. Yeah. Right? If you think about it, they have had so many hours of viewing pleasure of us in this negative light, right? Continuously. Think about it. New Jack City. Huh?
Unless you watch the scary movie. We be the first ones out.
Okay.
Wait a minute. If we survive, that's the But if you think about it, they have grown up just viewing that. And now they're a police officer. Now there's this brown person that I done watched, being chased or was on the corner selling drugs. And that's all Hollywood setting us up for the okie doke. But that's what they grew up on. Now I'm a police officer and I want to go home. And what I know about this community, because I've never grown up around these people. Think about when you was in school, when some of the kids just want to touch your hair. You'd be like, I just want to touch it. Like, what? Get out of here.
My damn hair.
But that's what they grown up with. So when we change the bias, we have to basically rewrite the visuals that they see. Which is hard.
But that ain't necessarily us to do though. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't necessarily have to kind of like pacify them by changing how we act.
No, I'm not saying we change our act. What I'm saying is they see more of who we are. We are a whole community of people, but they only see like this sliver of who we are. What I'm saying is we have to, have more than one side. Not every drug dealer is a black man.
I gotta interject like what Mark be telling me when I be on my little tyrant we can't we oftentimes when we look at stuff and come up with the answer that like seems like it makes sense, we tend to group ourselves and want everybody to be viewed as people like us.
Mhm.
You still got that slither that's gonna be the story that they talk about before you go out and to through the little boot camp or put through the police academy, through their little obstacle course. You know, there's that slither that they see, that's gonna be what's they're being trained to respond to.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
so they teach you to diffuse a situation where, you got two black men, like the where was that? Was it Utah where the black man got shot at the gas station by the police, the sheriff?
The sheriff.
Yeah, he shot him in the chest. He was trying to defuse a situation.
Remember the guy, and everybody was shocked that so many people were like he was wrong for shooting him. But everybody that doesn't live inside Texas know that that's like a kind of small area.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And everybody knew him. Again, it's their perception. That person they knew. Like, I know Bobby, so I know you wrong because Bobby ain't never done anything wrong. I've grown up with Bobby. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, so this is a good point. Well, not necessarily, but that's not going to change until poverty and the neighborhoods we are raised in change. Poverty is a construct, and when I say a construct, I say it in the sense that when I say poverty, what people came to your mind? Black people.
Black people.
Right. You know what I'm saying? When we can begin to have that word be said and black people not be the first thing that comes to your mind, then we're heading in the right, direction. That's why I say it's a construct. So everybody outside of that community, or the people or the powers that be, have a hand in seeing or forming the idea that when you hear the word poverty, thing that that you think of, as far as the neighborhoods that we are in, that's on us in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know a guy who is of the mindset that if your neighborhood is clean, you will treat it better. So he wants to go out in his neighborhood, and he lives in not an attractive neighborhood, and he goes out and he wants to clean the neighborhood. Well, it's difficult for him to have other people who live in that same neighborhood come out and clean the neighborhood with him. You know what I'm saying? So until we start taking some ownership ourselves, no matter what the neighborhood it is that we live in, but if we're just going to say, hey, look, we live in this neighborhood, let's keep it clean and let's keep it, let's get to know your neighbors, and until that happens internally, then that's going to be something that we got to talk about and behind closed doors when it's just us.
It's not going to happen. It's not really. We're not really. The United States isn't set up to alleviate poverty or whatever, and especially when they talk about black and they talk about poverty in one sentence, they're looking at the people that get stuck. We all have relatives of it. We don't come from no pledge backgrounds. These systems and these opportunities that are granted to a black woman, i.e. low income housing, that's supposed to be a stepping stone. You got people who grew up in the projects, kids grew up in the projects, got the houses 2-3 doors down from them, and because they weren't taught better. They repeating the cycle. It's easier to live in poverty. So we inadvertently allowed the government to take the black men out of our house, because what black men want to keep moving their stuff for an inspection? Who want to come in with a woman who because they rent $25 or whatever based on their income restriction, they don't see a use or the need or the perks of having a black man in a home. So rather than have that black man and change these generational court curses, they rather live good and cheap and wear name brand and drop. That's just. We got to be realistic here. It's just not going to happen. I mean, white people, Mexicans, everybody, we all, Hispanics, we all have a level of poverty. But
right.
The government is restructured. You're not getting out of it. You got to set boundaries.
But here's also something to consider, right? And it's what I tell people all the time. First of all, poverty is a mindset, right? Because if it's not a color of people, because if you go to West Virginia, guess what? You're gonna see some poverty, and you will not. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, poverty is a mindset, and just the way that you're saying that, you know what I'm saying, one generation is cool with it and they pass it down to the next generation. The same thing happens, you know what I'm saying, for them. You know what I mean? But and that's why I can't necessarily say that you're because I don't know if we're going to see it during our lifetime either, to tell you the truth, Peach. But you know what I'm saying? I just want to be a culprit of one of the people that says there's a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's enough money out here for everybody. Like, and all you got to do is just go out here and get it. You know what I'm saying?
And it to the point where you don't have to go out to get it, and you're gonna go without. You're still gonna have lights. You're still gonna have gas. You're gonna have your $10 internet, and your rent gonna be whatever. So when you make a person comfortable in a situation, it's kind of hard to get them to move. That's when you come home. You've been working all. You kick the damn shoes off and you sit in your chair, the one for you. You ain't moving. It's gonna take an act of God to get you up out that chair. That's their chair.
We don't have any.
Who's leading us? Where are our black leaders?
Well, we don't have any.
Good question. I think we paddle the bill. We on our own at this point.
Damn. Come on, Eric. Damn.
I don't know. It's just hard to believe in some of these people that we, thought were trying to do better for us, that turn around and they all had the same agenda just to line their pockets. You know what I mean?
You know what? And I feel you. You know what I mean? Because I think, I'm sorry, I still think Farrakhan is a leader. Myself, that's my man's. That's my man. I'm sorry. That's my man. However, comma, we do have leaders in the black community, and you know who those leaders are? You those leaders, me. You know what I'm saying? I'm that.
I guess right thing. I'm doing the right thing out here. So I guess I am.
Hey, listen, and if you're doing the right thing and your kids see you doing the right thing and they're going to repeat what you're doing, then you have done what you're supposed to do as a leader. You know what I'm saying? The issue is that we need more of us to do those things. You know what I'm saying?
When people think of leaders, they think of
hey, Ron G, stop it. You know I love Farrakhan. I've always loved Farrakhan. Don't act like it's new. You know what I'm talking about? Come on now.
What people think about. They think about Capitol Hill and not having a lot of black leaders there.
We first of all, you can't expect to use the same system that oppressed you to view. That's retarded to me. So I'm not a person that I don't subscribe to that. I think if black people are trying to do something among themselves to us and we have our own subculture, then that's going to work. But if we're trying to do it using the same system that was not made for us from the jump, then we're going to continue to fail. That don't make sense to me.
But people that's trying or whatever, it's just not a big crowd. Who was that? Killer Mike, didn't he start the first open up a black bank or something?
Yeah, but he wasn't the first black bank. But he did start a black bank. It's called Greenwood. It's called Greenwood.
Yeah.
And so and it's more of a it's an online bank, so they don't have a brick and mortar location. But there's a lot of banks that's like that. And I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I did say that I was going to do a little more research on it and read up on it, because I know me and Peach was talking about doing a whole show about financial, you know what I'm saying, education or whatnot. So I just want to see, because you remember Russell Simmons came out with that black card, the Rush card. Russell Simmons was robbing people. Russell Simmons was robbing people, bro. So I want to make sure that this ain't the same thing. That's all I'm saying.
Wait a minute. I think if we're talking about poverty and we're talking about moving out of poverty as a whole, as a community, first we have to understand money. we don't, as a community, understand how money works and literally what money is.
Hey, I just want to say, my wife is a certified financial counselor, so she's not just talking out the side of her neck. Go ahead, babe.
So when I counsel people, I counsel all kinds of people, but I do find a commonality in our community, right? And that is one thing. We do not understand the fundamentals of money. And because of that, run in this cycle of having and not having, having and not having. What I tell people off rip, number one, there's a whole bunch of money out there. Think about all those plate sales we've been to.
Okay.
All them t-shirts. I will
get me a fish plate. You hear me?
Car washes, right? How many t-shirt companies we know, hat companies we know, right? So we know how to get money, but we don't understand how to keep it and make it work for us. We are the workhorses for money. Once our community starts to understand how to manage it and understand how it works, it will be a difference. And then on top of that, understand that there comes sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring my family. My family started off in Darlington, South Carolina. They were sharecroppers, right? So one of my uncles left Darlington, South Carolina and moved to Jersey. Another brother moved to Jersey, but guess what? They moved to the same house. Everybody moved up individually when they had the ability to move. They moved into one house. And when you had enough money to move out, you didn't move out to rent. You moved out into your own house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the sacrifice was living in a house, whole bunch of brothers and sisters that you was like, I can't wait till I get out of here. But home ownership was more important than the little aggravation that somebody took my half of my sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we're not willing to deal with the sacrifice for the long-term gain. We want it now, instant. But when it comes to money, you have to at one time be, which is going to be hard, right? Selfless and selfish at the same time.
What the problem is that? Because I can't be on Instagram stunting with all of the 20s down my arm. You know what I'm talking about? I got to be able to do that. I can't do that if you in the background because we share the same bed. I can't do that. You hear me?
Right. So let's think about it. There are so many ways that you can make money without actually out there hustling for it. Me and Mark was watching a documentary, and it was a whole bunch of boys that, little hustlers out there. And they said, it's crazy how you sit up here and you guys will fight over a block that you don't even own. You'll die for a block that you don't own. But then
you don't own nothing. Your mama don't own nothing. Your grandmother don't own nothing.
Right?
That just lets you know how misguided we are.
Yeah.
But think about that. His boy talking about cleaning. The reason why the people probably won't clean up the neighborhood or help is because they have nothing invested in it. They paying rent. So they be like, this is the landlord house. Why am I fix his area up? This ain't mine.
Yep. Meanwhile, if I drive through my neighborhood and I see a plastic bag in somebody's yard just being blown around, I'm 38 hot.
Well, you pay too much.
Hey, what about we can see them parked on the grass?
No.
Our house up and move it. Like we don't live by them. Like who
okay.
Car on his grass? Like
hey, and it's a wide open spot in the driveway. I might come knock on your door, be like, hey, bro, you need to move this vehicle. And put the thing
like you bring my property value down. Like how much.
Yeah, seriously.
Think about that. You live next door with just a principality behind his.
Let's just think about this. Everybody had a big mama, right? Everybody had a big mama. And most of the big mamas owned a piece of something. Just a piece of something. What happened to that piece?
Somebody sold it.
No, mine is empty. Don't nobody live in it.
Right?
Oh, well, hey, as long as y'all still own it, you good.
You know I'm fighting over that grass. Ooh, he play too much.
Hey, Raji gonna be upset about that grass, boy. You hear me? Raji will knock on your door. Hey, bro, I need you to get this off the grass out here. You hear me?
Think about it. Gentrification. Gentrification usually happens around low income areas where someone sees value.
I just did a paper on gentrification too.
Oh, word?
What'd you get?
Give me some facts.
Right, let's go.
I found that, oftentimes that's where our historical buildings and stuff go. Gentrification is when you buy something, move into a neighborhood and transfer it. Change it, like upgrade it. But what's going on is instead of the people that live in the neighborhood doing it, it usually come from outside investors, and they buy up your land, rebuild over and knock down what it is, force you, once you start building an area up, the property value of it goes up. So once they building it up, they ultimately forcing those people who was paying the low rent and could afford to live in that situation out. And when they push them out, they're pushing them into a smaller development of where they can afford to live, what's cheaper, what hasn't been built up, and you're pushing it in there, and it's more people that's in the same situation, which is how you get into these more where the slums, like South Philly, like right. The bottom, like like places like that. I mean South, but we need to, as a person, people start, like you said, that man going to pick his stuff up, starting to invest in the community. And it's odd that I can sit here and talk about this because, like of course, y'all know I'm from Cleveland, and I follow a group of guys or whatever, and they from one section. I don't want to give nobody no shine, but them boys is buying them properties, fixing them up and flipping them. They and they own, and everybody looking at them, they look like drug dealers, but they reinvesting in these communities, building it up and flipping houses.
Yep. And that so two things with gentrification is property value and property taxes. Right?
Yeah.
So they usually come in and they be while it's low. They reinvest in it by not just the homes, but they also have corporate entities invest in the same neighborhood, right? And that's going to make your property value and your property taxes go up. This usually happens in areas where the ownership is low, meaning that the people who live in these houses don't necessarily own them. And the ones who do own them eventually will have to sell and get out because the property tax is going to be more than what they can afford, right? Because it's always, like you said, it's always in a historic area or an area that is already has been there for a while. So the people who are there probably own these homes. These homes are probably owned flat out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because they bought them back in the 70s or the 80s or something like that. So they own these homes. And then they go in sometimes and they say, hey, look, we're buying up the area, blah, blah, blah. We want to give you X amount of dollars for you to move. Some people will take it, you know what I mean? And the thing that gets certain people is they don't understand property value, right? They will say, because I bought this house in the 70s for $50,000 and now it's worth $150,000, that I can go and buy more house. No, that's just saying that your house now is probably worth $150,000. So if somebody gives you $150,000, all you're going to do is move from one area to another,
right?
Same house. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to be able to get a bigger house or more land or nothing like that. You're probably just going to go from one location, you know what I'm saying, to the next, right? You know what I mean? And so, as you said to, talking about, my guy who was talking about we should, go out and police our own communities, that's what he's trying to prevent. Because like there's some ownership there, and usually those people don't come into neighborhoods that well kept, because that if you look at it, it looks well kept, then you already know that people who live there have some skin in the game, and they're not just going to be wanting to let it, you know what I'm saying? So you just skip right over that because we're going to take the path of least resistance. So if we go somewhere and it looks run down and beat, like nobody cares, okay, then this is somewhere where we can come in, you know what I mean, and gentrify as, you know what I'm saying, we see fit.
But we need
Actually,
to understand that.
Right.
Yeah, when we think about gentrification, you know, they talk about it in like Philadelphia, Buffalo, New York, like LA, but now what's going on is it's being pushed into the rural areas now, and now these farmers and everything else is going through the same thing that we went through as a people in poverty or low income based neighborhoods. They're out and they're doing it to like the farmer nations, or like we're usually Amish country and everything.
That's crazy.
Look at it, and you know, because at first it wasn't a big deal because it was affecting like large areas. Baltimore is known for it very well. DC and Baltimore, that was another two that was on the list. So now that they're moving into like the rural areas, is gaining some more traction.
I would love to know how that looks though. For I'm wondering if they going into the rural areas because of the land mass, because usually a farm is huge. A farm is going to be at least what, anywhere from 3 to 20 acres.
I don't know if I can pull up my references without getting off of the computer, but I had to. That was a paper that I did for one of my classes.
But you have to remember, understand the way to live back then, right? Because like I said, everybody had a big mama who owned a house, right? And everybody lived around that neighborhood. Now, think about it. We leave. We in Texas.
Yeah.
My mom's in Florida. Yeah. My family in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? So because of that, I think we have to understand and grasp how property and keeping property up is done.
You know what? I see that that Ron G put something in there about Brooklyn, and Peaches said something about Philly. Well, you know, my people live in Philly, so I went up there and visited last year. It blew my mind. I seriously tell you, it blew my mind because, like, if you know what Philly looks like, there's a lot of row homes, and so you would see a house look, I mean, like beautiful. The one that's supposed to be connected to it is there's probably just a hole there, or it looked like a trap house. You know what I mean? But it might have like a developer's sign on it to say that they're, you know, in the middle of. I mean, I just couldn't believe the difference, and not to be, you know what I'm saying, funny or anything, but I couldn't believe how many white people I seen at night, just like walking around, you know, freely. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because usually in that area, you know what I'm saying, where my people, that just never happened.
This is the crazy thing. Before that happened, houses in that area were going for 5,000 and 10,000, right? And I was telling him, I was like, listen, let's get these row homes and let's hold these row homes, right? He's like, nah, not in Philly, nah. I was like, listen, it's only 5,000. If it go up to 10,000, we winning. He was like, dead set.
Look at you.
What, Philly? Now he like,
yeah. Now I'm saying, now them houses going for 200, 250, 300,000. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I mean, I was literally like, my mind was blown. And I have heard about Brooklyn and how Brooklyn is going on the same way up there. I have some family in the Flatbush area, so I know that there has been a lot of movement in that direction. As far as, you know, with the gentrification, once you see a Starbucks, it's over. That sounds like a joke, but that's so real.
You Starbucks, Planet Fitness, it's over with for y'all. But I want to elaborate on what Kia said as far as when we get up and we move. You know, you gotta look at it like we don't have a choice. You don't want to say that you was pushed out, but you really are, because you stand and look at, you live somewhere in envy. You pull up in your nice car, you go in your nice house. You know, when you got water, people on water, now you got people on meth, you got people on dog food, you got people on crack. When you leave to go to work to pay for that nice house and all this stuff kicked up, guess what you coming home to? Nothing. So when you are working much, I mean, I got insurance. That's me our main thing. I got insurance, yeah, but your premium gonna keep going up, and Pookie gonna keep selling your shit around the corner for $25. You know, 20 if he forget the cord. You know, so
okay.
It's just a lot of things that you gotta we keep on. It's like we're trying to put a band-aid over a bullet wound. Because we taking out a common denominator, like what drove this stuff down. Well, yeah, it's a few outliers or whatever, but you know what comes with that poverty community. Where do the people who want to get drugs go to get them? You know, so what are the schools like in that neighborhood that you trying to build up? You got to sacrifice your own kids or put them in another school, and then they got to worry about walking home and getting beat up because you think your kid's better than the other ones. They're getting chased home. It's no medium, you know. I just know, like, it's a school called Booker T, Washington. You know, we ain't looking for houses. You know, if I look, I already know not Norfolk. They schools are rated 1, 2, 3, 4 is what you're gonna get. So when you saying, hey, don't get money and get out of here, this is what I'm working for. I'm working to get the hell on because, you know, if somebody sitting on my porch one more time when I pull up and I ain't even said, this going to be a problem.
We need to, I would say, thinking about us in real estate and the things that we've done and some of the things that he said, the best property to buy is already in an established neighborhood.
Yep.
Right. So if you notice some of those real nice homes in those established neighborhoods, where do the kids go to school? Do they go to public school?
Doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just
not around here. Not in these parts.
Well, but what I'm saying is that
$1,000 a year. So why would I and then when you think about it, and even if they don't go to a collegiate school or whatever, even if they go to a charter school, you somewhere you got to sacrifice because it's no school buses to go to them charter schools. You know, so it's gonna be something that you have to give up or sacrifice in order to get that type of living. You either gonna have to downgrade your lifestyle to get your child that, and then where would they play? Where would they grow? You gotta make them do everything away from where you living at, which means when they grow up, they getting the heck on. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not gonna say where we live, but I call this. Can I say that on TV?
Yeah, you can say it. Good.
I say I live in Black Heaven.
Okay.
I live in Black Heaven is only because if you come into our neighborhood, I'm going to say on our street, on the street right there, ain't nothing but Black families.
That's good.
Right. And I say that because we're out here working hard, pushing forward. But this is where we would have to make the stand then.
Right. Well,
right. Not make the new stand, but make this the stand. Like we have to stay. We have to be invested. You know what I'm saying? Like each one of the people have to stay. At that point in time, then the school, because our schools are rated top notch. We got 10s. Our schools are top notch. But that means again, we can't leave. Unless we tap out with another family, like, you got it.
Peaches got a friend that live in Mansfield.
Oh.
Yeah, he just bought a $450,000 house. Over there.
It ain't cheap. Don't get me wrong. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap around here.
Look at Raji. That's a fact.
You gotta look at or whatever. But my thing is, we still fall from that because now we self-isolated. We want people not to be afraid of us, but we gonna all go and move into the same neighborhoods and raise our kids apart from the other people. So now we don't have a lot of diversity. So now we throwing our kids out into the world trying to figure out how to get along in men relationships that should have grown naturally.
No,
You know,
I call it Black heaven, but it is a very diverse area. The only reason where we are is because I wanted the schools to be diverse. So I looked at the demographics of how many Pacific Islanders, how many, you know, regular Asians, how many Hispanics, how many Blacks, how many Caucasian kids. I looked at that whole demographic. I call it Black heaven because on our street and in here, because I picked a school like that, it's not one or two Black families and 90% of somebody else. No, it's 50% Black families and 50% of a whole bunch of everybody else.
Okay, so you know that makes sense. But when you think about it, it's 50% of Black, and then everything else, the Blacks are the minority. So how do you get your kids trained to go into a workforce when they're going to be the minority, unless they're going to work in a community that y'all building up?
Well, I would like to say Atlanta is chocolate city number 1, Dallas, Texas is number 2.
Well, I like Texas demographics better than Atlanta because, you know, I'm looking because I want to go work for the CDC, but, you know, I'll go to there too. And Atlanta has the same problems. You know, you can find a nice house. You know, you're looking at almost $5,000.
The school's trash.
The schools are trash. Like, first of all, you know, they already have an accent. So, you know, there's going to be a language barrier. Then I'm going to send my child to a 3 school. Or whatever. You know,
oh, no.
My thing is to give them a level playing field, and I feel like when they grow, well, I can't even say that because my son had his best friend. He thought was his best friend. Turned out to when all of this stuff happened over the summer, it turned out to be a racist. You know, and you know, so it's like it was no way. That's I sent you one of them. But it was one before that, the one where he was like that, your sister smells Black people stink and all that. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
The script or whatever. And I found that, you know, people are hands off when it comes to that. You know, I had a detective come to my house saying that I shouldn't make a report. You know, the school wouldn't get, you know, I had to threaten to go to Wavy News.
Wow.
Get a response for it to be corrected, and then the thing like, oh, they moved, we can't get in touch with them, so it was no ramifications for this little boy's action. So, you know, we living in a world where, you know, you just gotta make sure you talk to your children and be there to support them, because I didn't have the answer for that. I don't know what to tell my son when a man pretend to be his friend and stab him in the back. But I told him I worked at 20 years in the military. You know, seen it done.
Well, I think in that, I mean, it's just how we
yeah.
It's just really how we raise them, and we can't not, even though I call this, you know, Black heaven or whatever, it's still a world out there,
right?
So this just gives them a little cushion. This gives them a little breathing room. This gives them a little bit of, I'm normal. This is normal. But understand, once you go past these doors or you pass this line right here, this is the world at large.
Right. And so it's like with us, I shelter my child. So it's like, I know my kids, like, you know, they're smarter than we give them credit for, but I can't throw my sister down on 55th and Quincy. I mean, my daughter down on 55th Quincy and tell her to get it how they live. They gonna eat her alive, you know, like.
Okay.
You know,
yeah, you're right, man. But I mean, but that's just at some point it's still going to be up to you to, you know what I'm saying, get them ready and get them prepared, you know what I'm saying, for life on the other side of them doors. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta, you know, like Eric said, you still gotta keep it real and let them. It won't always, you know, be like this, but you know, it's just about valuing themselves and knowing what they have to offer to the so forth, so more. Hey man, look, we about close to our closing time.
Really?
Yeah, it's been that long. I done heard about 3-4 new subjects that we can speak on. just in this conversation that we had in the last almost 2 hours, man.
We probably need to edit it and close out the relationship part, and
the rest of it be the after hours, be it the after dark.
I know
I was just saying, Peaches, you're more than welcome to come down to Texas. I'm telling you.
I know. I'm thinking about it.
It's nice that it gets a little chilly, but you in Virginia, so you understand that. But other than that, when we came down here, I thought I was gonna have to, act up with these 10-gallon hats and some boots.
Okay.
That's what I thought. But in the DFW area, it's
pretty diverse.
It is real diverse, which I really like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I need to start.
Hey, man,
and then if I get something, he drive trucks. He can go pretty much whatever. If it's something to do, he can get it. It's me.
And even in that industry, I'm telling you, it's all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Out here, anything that got to do with logistics is all over the place out here. But anyway, I ain't had nobody in my personal business. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Coming on, my boy, keeping it 100%. Boo Boo, I appreciate you coming on. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it real, having that talk. And we'll holler at everybody. Black owned podcast, sincere. I holler.
All right.
Good.
Bye.